really glad to do this interview with you. And I know you have a really great story that you want to share. So let's go ahead and I'll let you tell the audience about your background and how you heard about Course Careers.
Yeah, my name is Tim Butler. From Seattle, moved down to Florida the last couple of years, and I was actually in the healthcare field. I did go to college. I went to University of Arizona, and then I transferred to Eastern Washington University. Long story short, I started in healthcare recruiting, and that's like for travel nurses and staffing nurses per diem and travel contracts and things of that sort. I did that for about 8 years or so. And on the side of that, I also did have a company as well that I do run, which is a business lending brokerage, and that's the sales portion, which I'll get into a little bit later. But long story short, I was doing healthcare recruiting, and I still currently do have a business loan brokerage, which is sales, and I have recruiting. And then, long story short, I was just online one day, and just an ad of yours popped up, and I was like, "Oh, what is this talking about? You can make X amount of money, doing tech sales." And prior to me even knowing what tech sales was, always wanted to be in tech. But I was like, "Hey, maybe I have to go to school or something for tech," but I didn't. I went to school for business management, and I didn't go into business management after school, so I just literally went to recruiting, right? And long story short, I went from there and I just went down the rabbit hole of watching all your videos, all the testimonials, as well as then I went online and I started, for some reason, like the algorithm or something, ads start popping up, other videos start popping up, suggestions start popping up. And then I went on Instagram, and then other things start popping up, like Cyrus, and then I had Antoine, and from Black Heights and stuff pop up. I was like, everybody's talking about this stuff, and it's very affordable. And they also had like discount codes, which I didn't do that, but I was still a little, skeptical of it. But I just kept watching the videos, and I ended up just indulging into the course. I started with the practice one or whatnot. And then I was like, I'm just gonna go for it. It was only a few bucks, and the worst that can happen is that I learned something new. So it was pretty cool. And I go more into that as the questions go.
Yeah, for sure. The risk reward ratio is really good. I mean, I think everyone's a little bit skeptical when they go into it, but it's like the upside of if this thing actually works out for you, like it does for so many people, you have a very high paying career path. And if it doesn't work out, then you lose like $500, So it's not like it's going to ruin your life, like going to college and getting a ton into debt or signing like an income share agreement for $30,000.
Oh yeah,
Uh,
oh yeah. And with that being said, is like I saw yours, and then I'm like kind of a nerd on like online and stuff like that too, and I like to always do my research no matter what.
yeah.
One, I've lost thousands of dollars just from doing like marketing ads and stuff for my brokerage. I've lost
Yeah.
thousands of dollars in indulging into mentorships that didn't give me the quality that your course for $500 did. And then as I did it, it was like I looked into all the other boot camps and what they had to offer. Some were saying, hey, 15% or 30% for the next few years. I'm like, no, like that makes no sense. There's
Yeah.
some other ones say 15,000 or 30,000 here, a huge down payment. And then sometimes though, for transparency, some people say like if it's too cheap, then it might not be as much quality. So then that goes through your head. I'm like, okay,
Yeah.
what should I do? What should I do? So I'm just asking questions, looking for reviews, looking for online as well as like video reviews like we're doing now, and just doing my research. And then I was like, you know what? I've lost more than this just like last week or something from doing a Facebook ad that got me 2 freaking referrals and that can convert. So I was like, just go in. It's only $500 and I could just make that back at some other time. And I went in it and it was literally it. I am in the position I am now because of the course, like literally. So
Yeah. Yeah, it's crazy the type of other stuff that's online, these boot camps charging like 10, 20, $30,000, one percentage of your income. And like you said, a lot of people associate higher prices with higher quality. When in actuality, like we compete against very low quality programs. They make you sign this contract, they take your money, and then you ask what's next, and they disappear. So
yeah,
it's
exactly,
yeah, it's
exactly.
it's just crazy. And
Yeah, I've saw some horror stories on those as well, and like I think there's actually a lot of, not to go into them, but I think I saw like a lot of like lawsuits and stuff for some of these places as well. So I was like, and I haven't found one bad review about CourseCareers, so I was like, why not?
yeah.
So hey, so why not? And everybody promotes it, like at least like as you get a video, see other people's stuff, like there's a lot of influencers like on LinkedIn and things of that sort too. Like everybody promotes it. Like who would promote a product in which that, of course, they have a benefit from it, but it's actually helping people and can help better their situation and stuff like that. Mine was a little unique, but nonetheless, it was like, why not try it? So
For
I did
sure.
it.
And I think that's something that's a good way to filter out scams is to see like what kind of influencers promote it. Because influencers, they protect their brand, right? At the end of the
Yep,
day. So they're going to do a whole evaluation to make sure something's legitimate. So if like no influencers are promoting something, there's probably a reason. It's probably because they won't promote it.
exactly, exactly. And I think branding and like that self branding. A lot of people doing self branding. I feel like personally, Troy, this is your self branding itself though. So why would you put your face and your name back behind a product that isn't legitimate or risk of like being like have lawsuits and stuff like that. So it says a lot about you in the course itself. So I think you guys did a awesome job, and it's great. There's weekly updates and stuff. The community, the emails coming out saying transitions or new things you're going to add or not add and take away, and things of that sort of opportunities now for people who went through the course. All that's like you guys are just at the beginning too. I feel like this. I think this is just the start of it. As even though you're large from my view of things, I think this is just the beginning of what you're capable of even doing. To be full transparent.
Yeah. Yeah, we
Yeah.
have really big plans. And I'm sure the audience is excited to learn a little bit more about your story. So you enroll in Course Careers after watching all the testimonials, researching us online, and hear all these people talking about us. And how long did it take you to finish the course once you enrolled?
Yeah, it took me about 3.5 to 4 weeks, and that was with me procrastinating. Like I said, I had another job as well as like a brokerage too that I'm running, so that was me procrastinating. I'm gonna get to it. I'm gonna get to it. I'm gonna get to it. So, and then a few times I also went back and just reviewed everything again because what I was doing was actually overthinking everything. So that's one of my that's one of my bad habits of overthinking stuff. Oh, I want to make sure I do this. I may do that. Just calm
Yeah.
down, breathe, and get down to it, and it's self-paced as well. Watch the stuff. The entire course is very clear, it's very concise, it's to the point, and but it's a lot of depth and meat to it, right? So it's it's I would say, you see those books, it's like learning sales for dummies. It's almost broken down so simple, but yet so much information with substance that's valuable specifically to sales that it just went perfectly. So
Yeah, it's basically everything that you would need to learn to land your first position and then do the best possible job you can in that first position. So
yep,
exactly what companies want to hire people for. So it's like
yep,
you're the perfect match for all of these job descriptions, hiring sales development reps, which I mean, frankly, like there's a lot of students in the market right now, and I always get asked, well, can I get a job? Because there's so many course career students. And I'm like, you can't get a job if you're not a course career student because you're competing with people who know absolutely everything they need to know and are the perfect match for the position. And look,
yep.
there's hundreds of thousands of positions. There's not hundreds of thousands of course careers graduates, which means there's tons of available positions for you. So you finished the course in about 4 weeks. And what was your process like interviewing with companies?
So the unique thing about my position is that I didn't even apply to one job. I wasn't even done with the course before I got an offer. The VP of the company I'm at right now, he DM'd me on LinkedIn and asked me if I knew people who are looking for jobs. And this is only after I optimized my LinkedIn profile. So this is the coolest part about it. This was like literally, if it wasn't for Course Careers and show me how to optimize my LinkedIn profile, this wouldn't have happened. Because literally, like the
Mhm.
day after I optimized my stuff, broke it down, did a bio. My bio before was just about my business loan brokerage. I optimized it, told about myself, talked about the books and things I went through, the sales process, the course itself, et cetera, like they tell us in the course. I put that on there. Literally the next day, a VP reached out to me and said, "Hey, do you know any people like that?" Because I wasn't looking for a job at the time. I was just still learning the course. I wasn't even done. I was like sixty
Yeah.
percent done before I even did it. So, and it's very optimizing your LinkedIn profile is very early on, and then there's other sections of it. So I was like, "Hey, maybe I do. Just tell me a little more." Because usually I ignore those messages and stuff. So I was like, "Hey, just
Yeah.
tell me a little more," and I surround myself with a nice group of people, and I mean that, and I'm saying it for the video. That's just how I do business, and so we can all elevate each other and just learn from there. And I said I
Mhm.
might have somebody who might be transitioning or looking for something new. Tell me a little about the job, And then as he was telling me a little bit about it, I was like, this sounds interesting to me too. This sounds kind of cool. I was like, so I mean, what made you reach out to me? So I started asking the questions at the time. And he reached out to me
Yeah.
and said, well, I see that you have recruiting because the company I work for, I know you're going to ask a question later, is in healthcare. And then my brokerage was just sales. And he's like, healthcare and sales, that you might be the perfect candidate for something that we're looking for. But if you have other people like you, I would love to speak with them. So give them my contact information. I said, okay, sure, you know. And then literally that same day, the conversation kept going on. He said, hey, you free for lunch today? I was like, it's 9 o'clock. What time are you talking about? Like, you know, he's like, how about like 1:30 or something like that. And I was like, sure. I haven't, you know, it's early in the day. And
Yeah.
the lunch spot was it's literally 5 minutes from the office I was at the time. And we went down there and we met for a lunch. And then from the lunch, we just talked and talked and talked. We were supposed to have lunch for like 30 minutes or 40 minutes. It went for 2 hours.
Yeah.
It went for two. It's like, I was like, okay, it's interesting. So now I'm asking all the questions more about it because my initial thing was, hey, give me all the information. It sounds cool though. I'm not really ready nor looking specifically for this job. Don't even know much about the company at all. You reached out to me.
Hmm.
I want to know so therefore I can relay the information to the people that can potentially be interested in this. And then as we went down the line of everything, I was like, this is something that he looked passionate about. He seemed passionate. It's the VP meeting me for lunch, you know, and it's not a small company. I was like, he went out his way to do this for me. That says a lot about his character, his leadership, and the company itself. And we
Hmm.
went from that. Well, I got lunch on this, you know, because I wanted to leave a good impression. Not saying I won't do it, but I just did that. He didn't want to do it. He fought me for that. I got the lunch and stuff like that. And he said he'll stay in touch. And then the very next day, he's like, you know what? I would like to, you know, talk to you a little bit more, stuff like that. I mean, your friends, you can still send them my way, but I would still love to talk to you a little more about that. I was like, yeah, you know what? I actually would be, you know. So we kind of went from there.
Wow. Yeah. So just from following the advice in the course about how to optimize your LinkedIn profile the right way, you had a VP reaching out, which actually isn't uncommon. One of our other students,
Okay.
Della Pittman, if you haven't already watched her story, for the
Yep.
people who haven't already, yeah, watch hers. She was 2 weeks into the course. The VP of one of the companies we partnered with reached out to her to just also set up an interview. So I mean, it's amazing when you go to a high demand career with the exact skill set that the companies need. And instead of you having to apply to them, they're actually reaching out to you because they need you.
Yeah, that's never happened to me ever in my entire life. And I've been working since I was like 15. I started with a cutting grass at like 15 or so, and then my last job out of college was the recruiting stuff. And then next, you know, I get this VP for this huge company who reached out to me and say if I know somebody. But next, you know, I'm the person that he's looking for, and I wasn't even ready for technically a job like I said before. And it just so
Mhm.
happened, like, because like the pay that I was getting before was great. Not to boast or anything like that, but last year I was a healthcare nursing recruiting, as everybody know, you know, the pandemic happened and stuff like that. So travel nurses were getting these 10K assignments and stuff like that on a weekly basis. So I had like 40 people at one time. So you could tell what that money would be in terms of commissions plus the salary and stuff like that. And I was
Mhm.
with the last company I was with for about 8.5 years. So each year, if you hit stock, I got like a $5,000 bonus in my base pay and stuff like that. And so I was set on money. I just wanted a transition to something new, something different, something that's going to be a new challenge, something I can learn, something that I can be more passionate about. You know, I was passionate about it for a while in the healthcare nursing recruiting space,
Mhm.
but it got a little dull for me. It's the same old same. And not talking bad about my ex company or anything like that, but you know, I had a great time. They're the first company that brought me in after college, like directly after college, and brought me in right after that. It was just like, you know, the VP step, not the VP, but like the management step down, new transition, selling portions of the company, other people
Mhm.
coming in, and then like the position I was in, they're putting new positions inside with new people, outsiders coming in and stuff. It was just a little bit of a lot of movement, but the same tools to utilize to benefit my position. With that being said, is like we're in this role, the market is changing. There's more competition, more businesses coming in. We're hiring more people. There's not a lot of resources, so no resources for us to continue to do our job better. It was just like crushing, 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 and our KPIs are going up. It's more challenging. Not saying I can't do the challenge. It was just like I'm a futuristic thinker, and I was like, this is not these expectations are not really realistic for this for the market, in my opinion. I could be wrong, but in my opinion, I didn't really feel it. And a lot of people around me were feeling the same way, but it was above them. And I was like, I just need look for something different. Like, pay is good, but my work and life balance sucked. I was bringing stress home, which was not good for a relationship. So I needed to make a transition. The business loan brokerage has slowed down this year due to the interest rates that hit me like a lot. During I don't want to say the P word, but during the pandemic, um, the everybody like a lot of people were out of jobs and a lot of people were looking for money. So my business was booming. But this year, when the interest rates and stuff happened, things slowed down. People start saving their more money. The inflation's up, interest rates are up. And we're kind of like in a recession or whatnot. So it just hurt
Yeah.
that really much. So I said I wanted a bottom line. And the reason why I have a brokerage with that is because I'm the kind of person who likes to leverage my career salary to benefit my brokerage and stuff like that. So I just needed something more. Inflation that hits in the cost of living's more, so I needed more. And the goals of me making more than I did the last couple of years wasn't realistic in the industry I was in, if that makes sense.
Yeah, yeah, that makes a lot of sense. So after you met with this VP and you went back and forth, I'm assuming you went in for another interview with them.
Yeah, so I talked to him just one more time, and his question was actually about, like, hey, if this was something, I mean, I think you're great. You can potentially be a good fit for this company. I just want to make sure that um, your outside business won't, affect, how I'm going to do my work inside the company. And
Hmm.
pretty much he didn't need me to like do like a spill or in terms of like convince him or anything like that. He just wanted to hear me man to man to say, hey, I know how to balance the two, and I've been doing that for some time now. Like I have a team who that is literally almost automated at this point, and I'm very hands off in it essentially. So as long as we got that done, he set up one more meeting. So secondly, I saw him twice in person, and then the
Yeah.
actual meeting was just with a lady in HR, and we kicked it off. The meeting was supposed to be in another 30 minutes, and this is via Zoom. Went for 2 hours, and then she asked me three questions. The interview was three questions. The rest of the interview for those 2 hours were literally about Greek, because I'm in the D9, I'm IOTA, and she's a Delta. And we just start talking about that, and then how her work
Mm.
life balance is within the company. We start talking about how the benefits that she gets because she works fully remote from home and how comfortable she is. Her husband works fully remote from home. She lives in Atlanta. She hated the traffic. So the fact that she's now at my company and she hasn't moved and stuff like that, and she was telling me about the benefits that we have in the company that she sees and stuff like that. What was
Hmm.
huge for me was the work life balance. That's one. I want upward mobility within the company, and I needed culture. I needed something that's going to be, hey, I can be myself within the business, learn the things that I need to, and as well as bring my creativity to the business. And she pretty much like broke that down perfectly, and everything just like felt really good. But I had three questions, maybe four, 3 or 4 questions for the interview, and essentially I had the job at that point.
Wow.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
that's a
It's
good
like
deal. So
I didn't, and the thing is, like, I over prep, like, because in the course, you prep for interviews and stuff like that. That was
yeah.
probably the most stressful part because, like, I need to kill it. I need to kill it. I was watching YouTube videos for hours of how to do this and how to say that, and and I'm not even a good interviewer or nothing like that, but I know how to, articulate my words. But long story short, as I'm watching all these videos and stuff like that, I get on the phone with HR, and she asked me 3 to 4 questions. I'm like, I'm over prepared from what the course told me that I need to do. Over prepared.
Yeah.
Like all the questions, the list you guys gave us, and to practice those and put our own words and stuff into it. That was huge, by the way. But it just I was over prepared. I was like more relaxed being that way too. I was better. I was easygoing. I wasn't timid. I wasn't nervous. It just made the process a lot easier. And I just went in there and I went in there and got to be myself, which was the most important part that I think kind of sold the business too in terms of that aspect.
Mhm. Yeah, that's incredible. And can you tell us a little bit more about the position? Are you working in office, fully remote? Can you give us any sort of like idea on the pay?
Yeah. So the company is a hybrid, but the cool thing about it is that I'm here in Tampa, so my last job was by the Buck Stadium, which is about a mile away from me, which is about 5 minutes driving in the car. And the
Hmm.
new company is now zero point 0.3 miles away from me, which is about a 10-minute walk, a 2-minute drive from home. And it's in a a completely new, brand new development that they just built and stuff like that. And since it is so close, and I'll be working literally, I'm literally working right side to the VP because we're in a small, we're in an umbrella that we're branching out a new, what is it like? Not a new industry, it's not a new product or nothing like that. We're just like a new branch that we're expanding right now. Um,
Gotcha.
so um, essentially where we were meeting for lunch at the first two times, right to the right of us was the building that which was getting built. So our new company is in there. So with that being said,
Mhm.
I go in pretty much every day because it's right there, and plus I get a little more better at home for me. I'm less distracted. I'm not turning on ESPN or scrolling and stuff like that. So it's literally the VP, myself, the BDM. I'm a business development manager, and I'll tell you guys about that here in a second. And then there's a recruiter that's in the office. And my job
Mhm.
is to not, like SDRs, they go out there, they find, they book build, I mean, they book meetings. And the BDR is essentially the same thing. But the BDM, I not only find our clients, inform them about our services, book the meetings, I also do sell them as well. So it's pretty much essentially like full desk of sales.
Mhm.
And what was the other question? I'm sorry.
And any idea of salary range that you can share?
Yeah, yeah. I can't specifically say what it is specifically, but my base is almost at like 100K for the base. And if I just do the minimum job that I'm in right now, is 158 OTE. But that's if I do the minimum. He says so per the VP. But I wanted to go in there and kill it because I asked him, is it realistic to do so? And I asked him if he was in my position, and that's what I asked him when we were at lunch. If you're in my position, not knowing anything, teaching me, because this is a new industry for me. I was in healthcare and I wasn't in sales, but
Yeah.
I don't know anything about the tech side of things. And I said, can you do this job? He said, yes. You could sit down there, twiddle your thumbs, and make over six figures next year easily. And if you just hit the normal goals, which is literally 1 to 2 clients a month, I mean, a quarter, sorry, a quarter is around 158. And he's like, we have a lot of people doing more than that. And he believes that I would be able to do more than that. And I already have confidence in myself, but him, like I said, I'm talking to the VP of the company. I'm talking to
Yeah.
him, looking at him, and he's the only person he's teaching me as I'm going inside of here. It's a 30 to 90-day training as well. No expectations but set meetings. None, but
Yeah.
I'm still getting paid almost six figures, literally right there. And I'm going to also get some slam dunks that new business comes in and it's going to be in my territory. He can just hand it to me. Like it doesn't make a difference because I'm in the production side.
Wow.
So I was like, wait, I can do what? And I asked him like how the commissions break down, et cetera, et cetera. And we get top of whatever we're going to get. So if you had $1 million, I get a percent of the top, not like a percentage of like a small portion of something like that. So I was like, I wanted to come here and kill it. We did, like I said, I talked to you earlier. I had just got off a meeting. We're doing a Christmas presents exchange. And I
Hmm.
also asked more about, hey, I'm excited because my first time seeing the remote people on our Zoom call. And I was like, I'm excited, I'm, pumped up, amped up to try to do this. And he said he can see me doing well over that as long as I do follow his guidance. And his leadership is a huge portion of why I did choose the company as well, too, due to the simple fact that he's very friendly, he's people oriented, and he wants to see people around him grow. And since he's been in the industry for over 20 years, and I'm learning directly from him. No modules online, no online training. There's no online training, nothing. It's literally hands on. Like I like it,
Yeah.
personal, writing down notes and taking advice, doing recordings, and then it's hitting the phones and, doing skits and, doing some practice, calls and things of that sort right there with him. And he's telling me yay or nay, or I would tweak this or tweak that. I'm like, there's no way I can fail at this. He's like, as long as you're teachable, there's no way you can fail. So I was like, I'm sold. I'm sold on it. And I'm not sure you didn't ask, but the cool thing about the division, there's only the three of us in the office. The new business that I do get, and we're worldwide as well. We're global as well as domestic. The If I do get business, say in like Georgia, where you're at, we can or where you're from. I can now hire recruiters under me to manage. Well, we have account managers, but I have my recruiters who recruit to do that book of business for me, and there's nobody above me besides the VP. So there's a lot of room for growth, which I mentioned that was huge for me, the upward mobility. And the other people in the company that are in the division or in my branch, but not in the office, they have been in their positions for 4 or 5 years and stuff like that, and they're comfortable where they're at. And I'm just
Mhm.
hungry. You know, you see me, I'm skinny, I'm hungry, man. I'm trying to eat, so I'm just ready to go. And if I'm working next to him, I feel like the sky's not even a limit. I feel like I could just do more. And maybe I'm a little overdoing and making it sound a little too easy in my head a little
Yeah.
bit, but I have a little bit of overthink is there. But I'm like, I trust this process. I believe in it. The passions, the motto of the company, what they stand for. They're very minority oriented, very women empowering as well. All of their philanthropy goes to women organizations each year. Due to the owner's wife, she's the VP of the entire global division of it, and
Mhm.
they just do like a lot of stuff with the community and stuff like that, and just minorities all over the world, literally.
Wow.
So it's amazing. It's amazing.
Yeah, that sounds like a pretty good deal.
I, it was almost too good to be true, honestly. Like I overthought the entire thing, honestly. And again, like to get back to the course, if it wasn't for the course, I wouldn't be even in the chair that I'm in right now. I wouldn't be in the office where I am right now. And again, like my process is a little more unique rather than somebody transitioning from like a warehouse. Nothing wrong with that or nothing like that or some other industry. But the cool thing about it, even though I had the experience in healthcare as well as the experience in the sales with my brokerage, this is still new to me. But that just gave me like an upper hand for them, like, hey, I need somebody who's a little savvy in these, but guess what? I'm still gonna train you literally
Mhm.
by hand how to do the entire job. So the biggest thing that I want to inform people is like always just believe in yourself and just be teachable, be coachable. Huge. This huge. And just have a plan. Because the biggest thing too, though, I think like a lot of people, not saying specifically course career students, is that we worry so much about, doing the course and I need a job, I need a job. The question you should really ask is once you get the job, are you ready to do the job? That's huge. Like when I got into it, I was like, hell yeah, I'm ready. I don't know anything, but whatever it is they throw at me, I'm going to get it done because this is what I really want to do. So with that
Mhm.
being said, also if don't just apply to any company. I think that a lot of people, oh, I just want a job or something like that. But do something that you're really gonna be passionate about, or something that you could think you could be passionate about, or really meaningful to you. Because if you do that, it's gonna make the day to day easier. For what my VP stood for, what the company stands for, the culture, the upward mobility. I made sure all my dots were checked off, and I negotiated, which I'll tell you about here in a second. I negotiated. It was just amazing. It aligned perfectly, and I wasn't like necessarily even looking for a job yet because I wasn't done with the course. But I have a tattoo on my left arm that says everything happens for a reason, and this is one of those good reasons. I think that finding your course and putting me in this position because I have all these bills, and I was pretty stagnant in the last company and stuff like that. Essentially,
Mhm.
more pressure, more stress on me due to the market and the changing, and we're growing, but the resources are not growing. I needed this change for me to be able to continue to leverage this for my company to deal with inflation and to just grow and invest and stuff like that. So it was just literally the perfect cake. And then
Mhm.
the opportunities are just I don't know. I mean, I wish I could show how excited I was through the video, but I'm really like it's just I'm trying to like woo, a little bit, but it's it's amazing, and I'm happy. My family's happy. My girl's happy. It's it's a blessing, honestly.
Yeah, and you get benefits too.
Yeah, yeah. I get I don't get unlimited PTO, but I can use it literally anytime I want though. So it's not written I can do it, but literally I can if I wanted to take off a week or so like that, check in on my phone or whatever the case may be, I can do that. I could literally work from anywhere if I want to as well. If I need to take time
Yeah.
off, like everybody in the office since I've been in there has just been in and out, or hey, I'm going to be out for a couple hours of the day. I'll get back to it later. A lot of people just didn't take off a lot of time during this time of the year because it's the holidays or whatnot. For our division was kind of they're trying to hit their goals for stock this upcoming year or whatnot.
Mhm.
Um, but as far as I've seen, I've only been here since November 28th. That was my first day. So about a month now. The flexibility is unmatched. Sometimes my VP just messages us, "Hey, if you want to work from home today, you could, or if you want to go in, go in." I have a key to get in the office. I open the building every day in this
Yeah.
new facility. I can work from my phone. I can. I need my phone in a laptop or my phone in like the internet. I could work. I get all the health benefits, 401k, stock options if I do hit them and stuff like that as well. So the whole run. So
Yeah, I mean that's incredible. So 158,000 your first year. You're living
yep.
in Tampa, Florida. You can go in the office. You can work from home. I mean, you could potentially make more than 158,000 in your first year. So maybe 200,000, maybe more. I mean,
I
that's
don't know. I don't know.
crazy.
I'm not.
Full
I'm not.
benefits.
I don't want to say that it's going to have people saying cap, cap, cap. But I don't want to do that. But I'm just going off what I was told, what I can see, and what I believe in myself that I can do and get done. Because how do you lose with the VP next to the VP telling you exactly what to do? He's even
Yeah,
hopping on the calls with me if I'm stumbling over words or I can't close something to give me business that goes along all the way. He wants to see people around him win, and I do too. And if you're going to help me pretty much put money in my pocket, I'm gonna take it. So as
yeah,
long as, like I said, my base is almost 100K, just base, and then with the commissions 158. And there's other tiers and stuff too that can go up as well. But I just wanted to be, conservative and inform you guys around the market. But I'm going to push for the 200K or more personally, but
yeah.
without people saying cap or something like that. I just want to be clear that I'm keeping a little modest right there. What potential is if I loans like he said, if I go in there took his words, if I go in there took on my thumbs, I'll be well over six figures for the year.
Yeah.
And guess what? 30 to 90 days of that is just training.
Yeah, that's crazy. I mean, so you're getting
Yeah.
all of this paid training, almost 100,000 base, working in Tampa, Florida, able to go in the office or work from home, and you have the VP of sales directly mentoring you. I mean,
Yep.
how much do you think people would pay just to have a VP of sales mentoring people? Like,
Hon- Honestly, it's like it's almost unbelievable. Like I literally when I got the offer, I sat there and was like, "Is this real?" And I almost got some imposter syndrome. Like, I mean, what is it? The word imposter?
yeah,
And
imposter syndrome.
yeah, I was like, when they gave me the offer, I negotiated that too. But then the offer that the number I went in for, they didn't give that to me, and so I had to re-talk to him again. And then because he wanted to make sure that I was in there for the right reasons, but then he still met me where I was at, and my base, I doubled my base what I was at the company I was at for 8 years, like the base.
Your base salary doubled from where
Yeah,
you left.
yeah, yeah.
Wow.
It doubled like 50%. Yeah. So like last year in healthcare sales, I made like 167K. But that's with base plus commission. I'm gonna
Uh,
have that without like pretty much just twinkle my thumbs. And that was having like 30 to 40 nurses plus at a time, which I tell you, that's hard to manage. And you're dealing with people specifically. I'm
yeah.
able to do that with less stress with the person next to me who's essentially holding my hand, which I don't need, but he's going to help me get there because he believes in us, he believes in me, he believes in the team, he believes in seeing what we're going to do. And the upside that we have going, which I can't tell you guys on the thing, what we're planning on doing this next year, I can't wait. I really can't wait. So because we're still growing our division itself, and the business that I'm essentially um, selling to, we're starting to add more products that we can deliver to the clients, and we
Mhm.
do revenue cycle solutions. Well, so it's with pretty much with coding and stuff within hospital facilities. If I didn't say that earlier, so
Yeah.
revenue sales cycle, it's I don't know, it's fun. It's fun, you
Wow.
know.
So you're working in healthcare technology sales now?
Yep, yep, yeah.
Yeah.
So I
How
went
does
from
that
healthcare
feel to
recruiting
tell
sales,
your
and it's boom. What's that?
how does that feel to tell your family like you're making all this money in healthcare technology sales? I mean, that's a big boy job right there.
It's different. I tell you that it's different. And uh not to go too far into, I'm not very very close with my family in that manner, but they do know I'm doing like a lot of things, and that's also one of my whys or one of my reasons I go so hard, because I want to build and show, like, my nieces and nephews and stuff like that, a better way of doing things rather than warehousing. Nothing saying is wrong with these things, warehousing, and smaller roles that are going to be more strenuous on your body, roles in which that they're going to be more stressful, or layoffs or turnover, things they're just not passionate about. I'm
Hmm.
glad and thankful I'm able to show or give them, my young, nieces and nephews, something different to view, other than, sports and stuff like that, or whatever case may be. I A friend of mine that I had communicated with on Instagram like a couple of years ago when I started my brokerage. He has these shirts. Some people may have saw. I'm not sure if you have it. It says um, rapper, athlete. They're crossed out, and at the bottom says entrepreneur. And every time I
Yeah.
go home or whatnot, they see those and they're like, "Wow, tell me about that. I won't go. I won't go." Like tell me something like that. So ultimately, I want to just be a good example for them, as well as have a great foundation for myself and my future family, because I'm not married or have any kids yet, but I really do want that, and it's very important for that. So having my
Hmm.
foundation financially and my sanity without as much stress is going to go a long way. And it's just the start. Honestly, it's only been a month, and you see, like I was paid weekly before, but now it's bi-weekly. But it's those checks though, they're pretty nice. They're still pretty
Yeah, I bet.
nice. Yeah, yeah, yeah. So
And
go
is
ahead.
there any advice you would give to the people watching this right now if they're on the fence about enrolling in course careers?
Yeah, honestly, the best advice is this: trust in your gut. One, watch the reviews, and don't be so skeptical. Yes, there's scams out there. Yes, there's places who are taking people's money. Yes, people spend money for things and don't get the value that they want. But this course specifically literally got me into this exact position without me applying for a job due to the fact that I followed the process, right? So I will tell you, if you're on the fence and you don't have the 450 with a discount or the $500, ask somebody, and I guarantee you can make that the next check or whatever, that when you do get a job. Like, here's the thing. And I'm sorry, I don't want to steal
Yeah,
your
go
show or
ahead.
not, but without taking risks, you're not going to get anywhere in life, period, point blank. Unless you're very comfortable. If you're too comfortable and stuff like that, this is not for you. And if you overthink and I overthink, but I also do take action. Just take action. If you want to, if you want to take action in your life, if you want to make a difference, you want to make a change, you have to try something new. You continue to do the same thing over and over, you're never going to get anywhere. You're going to end up where you are, right? I think everybody knows that. Sometimes you need to hear it again. So I'm telling you guys. So if you're on the fence, take the leap. And if you're not going to take the leap, to stop looking, because this is not for you. It's going to take somebody who is ready to make a change for their lives. And what motivated me, I had other motivation factors, but this specifically, what helped me was that if I didn't take this leap, what else is going to change around me? Granted, I had money and stuff like that, whatever the case may be, but I wanted something more feasible for me, less stress, more upside. That's for me. Somebody else might just need more money or something like that. But if you're on the fence, trust in yourself. Ask somebody for a $500 loan or something you could borrow with and pay $50 a month for somebody. You can literally get $500 within a week. If you have a car, put on Turo or rent it out to somebody, sell some shoes in your closet, a couple things, take it somewhere, do something, right? Sell something on Facebook Marketplace. You can get $500 in a month, like easily. Just take the leap. I think you have a payment plan too. Do the payment
Yeah.
plan. Just I think it's like $150 or something like that a month or a couple weeks or something. Take the payment plan. And I believe like if you didn't like it, you could stop after wherever you're at or whatnot. So if you're on the fence, just take the leap, especially if there's something you want to do. If it's something you don't want to do, then look somewhere else. But if you're on the fence, believe in yourself. And if you want to change, you have to take action. No change is going to happen without action. Sorry, that was a little
Yeah.
long
Yeah,
winded.
my whole life is just built on action.
Yeah, you have to. You have to.
Yeah.
Without action, you get no results. You get no changing. And a lot of people are scared of failing. And a lot of people say like, like if you fail, this will suck or something like that. No, failing, you'll learn from your mistakes. The last time I checked, you fail, you learn what not to do next time. And you learn. You also do learn within that failing moment, whatever you consider failing. But this is like my VP is training me and stuff like that. I feel like CourseCareers is literally the holding hand to get them into tech. Like it doesn't get any easier than that.
Yeah.
And
Yeah. I mean, I haven't found a better way to break into tech than course careers. And if there was, then believe me, course careers is going to do that.
yeah, yeah. And like I said, like imagine paying $500 and getting tens of thousands of dollars from just paying $500 one time or a couple payments of $150. You can't compete with that. There's only thing other than that is free, you know? And people don't trust free. Like I was talking to you prior to this, people don't
Yeah.
trust free. Like you see these courses that are $30,000, $20,000, $15,000. And a lot of people, like you mentioned too, is like, hey, they see these big numbers, and then they see your course down here at 500. A lot of people, oh, it might just be a scam, or it might be not enough quality, it might not be worth it or whatnot. But in reality, uh, your course is pooping on those
Yeah.
larger, stuff, and you have reviews such as these. And by the way, I don't know Troy. I don't know him at all. This literally, other than messaging him on LinkedIn of who to connect with or something like that. This is our first time talking, so I do not know Troy. But all you have to do is look at the reviews, reach out to the people in the reviews. You put the names on in the videos and
Yeah,
stuff. They
they
can
can
tell
reach
you.
out to you. They can hit you
Yeah,
up on LinkedIn.
exactly. So it's just, I don't know. Like if you put it like this, and I'm trying to be professional, but if you don't, if you want to get in tech and you want to do this course, you be tripping not to do it. Simple as that. You be tripping not to do it.
Yeah.
Just simple. And can I get some advice too? I would
Yeah.
say
Yeah, shoot.
um, optimize your LinkedIn. Um, stay active in the community. Engage into people's posts and things of that sort, and actively reach out to the companies that you wanna be involved with. Granted, I didn't have to technically reach out to the companies I wanted to at first because they found me, but since I did get in a role, I started reaching out to companies I was going to work. I mean, I potentially was going to eventually do because I can do business for them now. So it's pretty
Mhm.
interesting how that worked. And different people like, oh my gosh, we have these connections, and similar to that VP that I need to talk to for business, I can now use those references and leverage that relationship with this person for that business I'm trying to get myself. It's been crazy. I've been on all type of meetings and calls and messages and stuff like that. I'm talking to random people I've never just connected with online who knows somebody who can get me in point of my job. It kind of makes my job a lot easier, essentially. And
Mhm.
granted, I'm only been here for a month, so we're kind of taking things slow. But I'm trying to, I'm trying to get a little ahead of myself, but I'm trying to, indulge in everything and take everything, lightly. But actively get involved and do meaningful work, meaning that if you're not getting results, you want to just keep going, or whatever the case may be. Say, don't think that anything's my story's a little different from other people, right? But it is still possible. This was just a month ago for me. Well, November 28th. There's still people looking for quality people. Believe in yourself, trust in yourself, and know what you're capable of doing. And just know that when you do get the job, you have to do work, and just be serious about what you're doing. And like I said, if you find something you're passionate about, or a company that you feel like uh, fits your moral self and your values, it's going to make the job that much easier and more meaningful to go into, with excitement. So, and just get excited. And it's just trusting yourself, and then, CourseCareers is literally tells you exactly what to do each time, like throughout the course. Mock interviews, cold calling, emails, outreach, LinkedIn, you name it, the scripts, just how to talk to people. God, simple as that. Just take the course and try to memorize it. Don't just skim through it very fast. Absorb the information and then put it to action, because literally almost everything in the course I'm doing now in the job. Like it's part of my daily task and stuff like that. So just do it. And if you don't do it and you want to get in text, it doesn't get any easier than this. There might be some coding things out there, but that's coding. I'm not sure if anybody want to do that. I'm not doing coding, by the way. I'm just doing selling. I'm just literally pick up the phone and talking to people and saying, hey, do you want to, blah, blah, blah. I'm not going to do my sales script. I made a good one. It's pretty good. I want to share that. But just get on, it doesn't get any easier than that. So,
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah. Good deal. Flip $500 into 150,000. Thanks again, Tim, for sharing
yeah,
your story with everyone. And I know the students love these stories because if it wasn't for these stories, you probably wouldn't be in the position you're in today. So thanks
facts.
again for doing this.
Thank you, Troy. I appreciate you, man. Have a great night.
You too.